I want to start off a little bit here by saying what you just saw in those videos is really a lot about people's lives. And before we jump to our first guest tonight, I would like a moment of silence a little bit. Cordy Williams, as you know, is normally the host. And the reason I want a moment of silence, the reason you've got me back again, is Cordy's stepdad had just passed away literally hours before. So God bless everybody. If we could just have a moment of silence for all of us that have suffered under Gavin Newsom and are suffering throughout the recall, I really would appreciate it. And our first guest tonight, Chad, I think you a little bit reflect a little bit about the recall being about people and some of the things that it's really hard in California to function. I'm going to let you tell your story here. From what I hear, it's quite powerful, and I appreciate you taking the first 10 or 15 minutes here, telling us about you. And
hi, thank you for having.
Can we hear him?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very, very much, Chad. Your story seems more powerful. Maybe just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're going through, how hard it is to be even a registered Republican believing in the values that some of us have in this state, if you don't mind. Just tell your story. Are we?
Well, I'm 45 and I've been with my my partner for 23 years. So we're an intercultural gay relationship. And we both are Republicans. And honestly, we have received more backlash from being Republicans and conservatives than we have been just being gay. And so I just feel that it's getting to be so crazy here in California because, you know, sometimes people will say, well, I'm not a Democrat or I'm not a Republican or I'm not gay or whatever your story is. But the point is the life of just living here in America is changing, that this cancel culture is trying to force people to, you know, just toe the line. And if you disagree with them, you know, they're going to have riots at your house 24/7. They're going to fire you from your job. They're going to blacklist you from ever working again. And I think it's important for people to stand up, irregardless if it has anything to do with you personally. As a gay person, I feel like my partner and I are standing up. You know, in decades past, when heterosexual people would, you know, march in the gay parade for better rights for gay people so that they weren't fired from their jobs or, you know, treated badly in schools or things like that. It's like they didn't have any, anything to do with it. They were, you know, not gay. They're not, that's not their life. That's not their problem, but they stood up for it. So I'm feeling for myself and for my partner that we see what's going on totally wrong. I mean, we've had people totally unfriend us that we've known almost our whole lives. We've been treated differently in public. We've had people pounding on our front door. So it's crazy because people, you know, often think, well, this is just how life is now. But today's trends in society are tomorrow's societal regrets. You know what I mean? If you look over the past history of the country, it's like, you know, the war, sort of different groups that you could look at that didn't have equal rights or weren't treated well. And it's like, now I'm seeing, you know, conservatives and Christians being treated badly, being fired from their jobs, you know, whether it's in Hollywood or in any field. And I feel that it's important for everyone to stand up. And I get that people are worried because they are scared. Geez, well, if I get fired from my job or blacklisted, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to support my family? But people need to realize that by not pushing back, it's only allowing this cancel culture to grow its roots deeper into society and become more mainstream so that there's less freedom of what people want to say. You know, a couple examples of this that I personally had is we went to a popular restaurant my partner and I, and we took my mom, we were out shopping, and she had low blood sugar. She's diabetic. And she's like, I need to eat like now. So we went into the restaurant, and the wait was, I put my name in at the counter, and the wait was an hour and 45 minutes. It was a Saturday. There was about 60 people in the lobby. And I was like, oh man, this is bad. So the waitress waved me over, and my mother and partner were like, where are we going? And I said, I don't know, maybe there's a waiting area in the back. And so she sits us at a booth, and she gives us, and I said, oh, do we just sit here and wait till they call our name? And her reply to us was, you've had a hard life. Enjoy your dinner. And so she left, and I was sitting there like, oh my God, this is so wrong. What do we do? Do we talk to a manager? Do we, do we go and like get up? What do we do? We didn't want to get her in trouble or fired because she was trying to be nice. But I said, there's 60 something, other types of people, straight and otherwise, over there who have been waiting for an hour and 45 minutes for a table. And then she sits us down because we're gay people. And so they cut the line and throw everyone else to the back of the bus. I was just like, it felt so wrong, and we didn't know what to do. We sat there, and I'm like, well, it's nice that my mom gets food because she's a diabetic. But at the same time, I didn't even know, how to handle that. And we've gone places where people are like, we took a selfie in front of where we met 23 years ago, and some woman in her 20s had said, oh, do you want me to take your picture? And I said, no, we have selfie. And she goes, oh, are you guys gay? I love gay people. Can I get your number? So it's just getting to be this real, strange thing where people want to cling to the identity politics. And, they want to be your friend. They want to help you out. They want to cut the line. They want to do all these extras. And while that feels, nice for people to be nice to you, it's just not right, because people are cutting the line, getting into college, all sorts of things across the spectrum in our society, not because of merit or because they waited in line, but because they're the latest, identity politics trend. And so the thing that we've noticed is, it was a weird transition when we started dating in January 98, because back then it was like, the whole identity politics thing wasn't as popular. And then it came to 2004, around then, about, no on gay marriage. And a lot of people asked me, well, what do you think about that? And I said, it's America. You can like gay people. You don't have to like gay people. It's like you can pick and choose what you like, and it's fine. And now it seems like if you don't agree with it, then they will, cancel culture kicks in. And so when we moved into this neighborhood 10 years ago, we were kind of like, oh, it'll be interesting to see, just how we're treated in this neighborhood, how it is. And my partner, not being white, he was like, yeah, they're gonna wonder who I am. And so I said, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Well, the irony of the whole thing is our uber liberal neighbors were the first ones to run up to us and say, oh my God, we love having a gay couple in the neighborhood, and welcome to the neighborhood. And it was just this instant, overly nice kind of thing. And it just was kind of weird. Like, well, you don't even know us. We could be the biggest rude people that you've ever met. And then over time, what happened is in 2000, when, because we really started getting into politics in 2015, when, when Donald was saying that he was going to run Trump. And so then what happened was, so we realized that you had to sign up as a, because we were independent and Democrat back then, switched to become Republican. And we had several neighbors, talk to us about politics, and we kind of veered away from it. And then what happened was, one day I was backing my car out, and the neighbor started pounding on the door, of my window of my car, and saying like, well, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? You guys are gay. You guys are going to vote for Hillary. And I said, I got to go. I'm late for an appointment. I don't want to talk about this. And what happened was, I said, I have to go. Oh, come on. Who are you voting for? So finally I said, we're both gay Republicans. We're voting for Donald Trump. And that's where our support is. And so from that point on, we've had neighbors knocking on our door at 10:30 at night saying, we've been up all night talking about this. We can't believe that you guys are an intercultural gay couple and that you guys are Republicans. It makes no sense. So it's just like this, this crazy, you have to fit into a box and you have to act a certain way. And if you're this way or this color or this sexuality, you have to like this. And so it's just getting more prevalent and with us, but other people, we're finding it more important to speak up and say, come on, this is crazy. Like, you can if you want chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream, it's all okay because we're in America. And so I just find this cancel culture destructive to American values. And, it's important that everybody stands up because it's happening no matter what. Like I said, we've received more backlash from being conservatives than we have been for the last, since 2015, than we have been in our whole lives with being gay. So it's just, it's troubling.
And it's fascinating too, because I talk about that all the time. It's like what we call identity politics, because that's kind of the latest thing we've thrown out here, right? We now have to align our religion, our sexuality, our diversity with our politics. And I'm not quite sure when that started. And it really seems, speaking as a proponent of the recall campaign, that's been kind of one of the mainstream's whole argument. Well, this can't happen because if you're this, you should be this. If you're this, you should be this. And what do you mean you're not checking the boxes? Well, that doesn't make, how are we going to put that on NBC? Not picking on NBC, but to give you an example, right? It's got to be real. It's annoying to me, just as who I am. It's got to be really just, I love your story, man, because it's just annoying, isn't it? I mean, is there a better word for it? But it's annoying.
It's just weird. We've seen transition scene and he wasn't a popular thing, and then 2000s and on forward, gay characters on TV shows started, but then it got to be the pendulum swung in the other direction where it was like, the pendulum swung the other direction so much so that it's like, now if you do not like, the LGBTQ community, or you are part of that community, but then you are a conservative, it's like they just want to throw you under the bus and get you fired from your job. So it's not right. It's really important for people to get plugged in, because even if they say, well, I don't care, I'm not a Republican, or, I don't care, I'm not part of the gay community. It's like, well, right now we're going through this societal trend of cancel culture if you don't agree with the left. But next year or next decade could be, someone else's category where they're now affected. So that's why I'm saying people need to stand up for their values, which is like, we don't care what, ethnicity, we don't care what sexuality, we don't care what income bracket you are. If you're a good person, then, and you have merit. Those are the things that society should judge you on, not if you're in this trendy identity politics.
Hey, Chad? Chad, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Randy Economy, and I just want to salute you because I walk in your shoes. I'm a gay man, and I'm a proud Republican. Sometimes people call me being dual diagnosed in this situation. But we're all Californians, and I don't have reporters ask me about my personal life, but personal lives to a lot of people still matter in California and in politics, and that kind of always intrigues me, because the cause that we are doing right now is bigger than who we are individually and who we are as people. And we truly are just one California right now who are truly concerned about the future of our state and where we're going, and how we can figure out this mess together. And so, I'm very blessed to be able to work with people like Mike Netter and Orrin Heatley and Robin and Susan and everybody, every single day. I'm so blessed to be able to be part of this team, and for them to be so kind and loving and accepting of me personally, and for all of us. It's heartwarming, and it's well fed, and I've never felt more at home in a movement in my entire life than this one that we're all involved in right now, because it's the cause is greater than us individually. It's who we are as people,
right,
and why we need to continue to tell our stories and be proud of it.
This is Orrin here on remote location on the highway. I'm delivering petitions throughout the state right now. And can you all hear me well enough?
Yes.
Hi, Orrin.
All right. Hi, Chad. Hey, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I just wanted to point out, and this is why it was so important for me to bring Chad on the call tonight, because folks, this is a unifying movement. People from all walks of life, from the entire political spectrum, are working on this campaign alongside us. And, you know, Chad's story rung a bell with me, because I realized that people are being intimidated and threatened and coerced to not participate in this recall. We have literally had to turn down hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in donations from people who wanted to remain anonymous. There's people that want to weigh in on this recall, but they don't want their name on the petition because they fear reprisal, and they fear, you know, backlash from the government, and they don't want to be thrown out of their job. They don't want to be, you know, chastised or ostracized from the community, but they want to weigh in. So my point to them is, if you're afraid of taking a stand now, you might consider what's going to happen if you don't.
Especially,
it's just
amen.
Right. Especially if this keeps growing. Like, the other thing I wanted to say, that this isn't just about gay people or straight people or anything. You know, I talked to my partner about this example of California, and I say, you know, I see the state and this country as a whole is kind of like a family. Let's say if you take parents that have 2 kids, if they all of a sudden said, hey, I want to adopt 2 more kids, if they went to the adoption agency and, you know, they applied to adopt 2 kids, they would go on a long criteria of, you know, do you have the financial ability to pay for 2 more kids? Do you have, you know, multiple things? Are you able to do it? Well, our country, especially in California, we have tons of homeless people and people whose businesses have gone out because of this Corona shutdown. And so now it's like people have lost their jobs, their homes, they're living on the street. And then Gavin wants to do all this stuff, you know, help for bringing in illegal immigrants and bringing in more visa workers. And it's like, this isn't about
just making
prejudice.
the problem worse.
Well, it's like you know, when you're on an airplane, they say apply, if you're having trouble, turbulence in the air, apply the oxygen mask to yourself first before you help somebody else. So it's like we need to help ourselves get back, because the homeless problem is scattered throughout the state and it's getting worse every week. It's like every time this place is shut down more, businesses cannot continue to pay to stay open. And so it's like our homeless problem is getting worse, yet we see, you know, more and more people just pouring into the country, pouring into the state. And it's like, what about our own neighbors, community, people in our city and state and all along the highways that are living in tents? It's like, do the politicians don't care about them? It's like they should be serving them first. They're citizens that are hurting.
Well, Chad, thank you very, very much. We appreciate it, my friend. We really do. It's nice to have your perspective on the show. And I understand you do have things to run to, and God bless you. And thanks for coming on tonight. Okay.
Thanks for. I wondered if there was any questions anyone had for me before I went.
We're having a little trouble with your connection, and we're also having trouble that people are like having trouble getting in tonight. I was going to announce that in a second here too. So we may have you back on, or we may you can jump on one of our Facebook. We'll find a way to communicate to you. We have a lot of well says and thanks, Chad.
Yeah, I see right there that somebody had posted they had a question.
It said I have a question, but they don't say what the question is.
Thank you. So there's no other. Okay. Oh, wait a minute.
Some of the questions, and by the way, while you're doing that, there is seems to be something. I know it's not on our end, but for everybody out there to know, I'm getting about a lot of texts. People are having trouble with the Zoom link in the email. I don't think it's a Zoom link because a lot of you are on, but please spread the word. You can watch the replay on Facebook, but there seems to be something happening tonight with the invite on Facebook that's not allowing some people to log in. So
can we blame it on Zuckerberg?
We'll blame it on Zuckerberg. We'll blame it on Google. And Chad, you're welcome to stick around. You certainly are. We may have some more questions for you. It's up to you, my friend. Okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me log off because there's some other things going on, but I'll wait.
No, I appreciate that. And that's why I put you right on up front, my friend. Okay? Thank you very much, and God bless. I'm gonna jump next. I want to stress again for those of coming in there, it was Cordy's stepdad that passed away suddenly. That's why we had a moment of silence. That's why you're stuck with me again tonight. And Oren is incognito, stuck in traffic, or so he alleges. I really don't know. Before we go on to the next part of the show here, I want to take a shout out, especially to Christine right now, because I had a real pleasure this week. Yes, Christine, it's on you. Of visiting the mailroom this week, actually for the first time. And I noticed we have so much mail that even throughout the Zoom call, Christine is still processing as we go. And Christine, the piles you sent us are absolutely amazing. The visuals that we get of stacks of mail coming in. It kind of looks like Miracle on 34th Street 10 times 10. You need to unmute yourself if you're going to say something.
It's pretty crazy out here. So we've been going all day, but I think I'm going to actually get some sleep tonight because not everybody's here tonight. So that's awesome. Getting a night off. But we've been going since like 7 this morning. So we're at 12 hours right now. So we did a stack. Anybody want to see? We did a stack today. Right there. We got lots of mail waiting to get opened, and we'll get a lot more tomorrow. It's like dishes that never finish.
Christine, tell them the number of the count you sent me today.
I sent you a count for 28,003 and change.
Yep.
So that was
I saw the petitions in Christine's trunk yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. And when she sent me the count today, it was pretty awesome to see what that is.
That doesn't even include that. We're just getting going on what you saw.
Oh my gosh.
That was last week. So 28,300 for signatures into the tally, going out the door.
I think everyone needs to know that Christine and her crew work 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Do you know how many hours they put into counting these petitions?
It's a lot. You know, you don't think about opening, just getting the mail itself and opening the, counting the mail, then opening the mail and processing it. It's a huge undertaking, but we have awesome volunteers. Had 2 new volunteers, Stacy and Susan, today. So that was great. They've been out collecting, and they found it a nice break, I think, to do something different. But it's monotonous.
I can't even imagine. I don't like the mail I get in every day.
No, I'm done with looking at these petitions.
Well, Christine, we totally appreciate you and all of your volunteers and for alcohol.
Yeah, I'll just keep opening.
Any big checks lately? Have you received any big checks lately?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that, but yeah.
Can we talk about Kevin Kiley's book signings?
Well, yeah, can we talk about that?
Sure.
We can. We expect to.
Yeah, do it.
I didn't know if that was a secret or not, but yeah, we got a nice check from Kevin Kiley for $10,000.
$10,000.
Way to go.
So yeah, we've been getting so many donations, just 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, whatever. And it's been awesome. Just make sure you fill out that donor form if it's over $99. We need that info to cash your check.
And talk about money. Jeff Roldan is doing a documentary on Newsom and the recall.
Amazing.
He's spending all of his time doing it.
Yeah.
There's a GoFundMe set up for Jeff Roldan. I've posted it in every single Facebook group. Look for it. If you can't find the link, send me an email, susan.recallgavin2020@gmail.com. He needs donations so that he can do this documentary film. It's going to be totally worth it. Please.
Yeah. We got some awesome footage of the mail. We went and we did a mail run together, and that was fun because we got to get the cart and push it out.
Let's stress too, what Jeff is doing is a GoFundMe outside the recall. He's doing this with his own money and time to document this incredibly. What really is a fascinating story, because everybody attending, the Christines, the Robins, the Susan, the Randys, the Orens, Susan, I mean, I say all the time, it's the most amazing journey, but do be aware that the GoFundMe is outside the political arena for those of you looking in, taking notes right now.
So Mike, is it true that the film documentary is going to be a cross between the Real Housewives of California and Celebrity Rehab?
Well, I'll be honest, Randy, I was hoping it would be all about me, but it didn't work out that way. Damn it. No, it's going to be.
With this group, I think it's going to be all over the board. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to being able to see how you turn out, Mike, on the, you know, how you actually look, man.
Jeff is taking, for those of you out,
Jeff is amazing.
Orange County signings that we did, he's literally running up and down California, good a time as any to put in some quick things here. He's going to be at a few of Kevin Kiley book signings. Before we go to the next phase of our show, he's going to be at Bakersfield this weekend. And you may ask why. Because Bakersfield, I want to give a shout out to the Central Valley. Everybody's amazing. Orange County, San Diego, Sacramento, San Francisco. But if you want to do a little competition in Bakersfield this Sunday, not only is the recall road trip going to Bakersfield, are you ready for this? There is a 400 to 500 car parade celebrating the recall. Tim Holiday, a shout out to you. I know you're on there as one of our panelists, is going to be there. People are coming from all over to the central of California. So we encourage you Sunday to go there. And one of the reasons we're going to have horn hawking and a lot of whooping is what Robin is going to announce next.
Let me get my pen. I need to get my pen.
Robin, are you ready? Robin, you're on the air.
All right. I've noticed a few questions. People need clarification about the numbers they're seeing on the Secretary of State site. So I'm going to work backwards from that, just so people understand. Our county authorized personnel turn petitions in to the county offices. Those county clerks report once a month to the Secretary of State the number of petition signatures they received and their verification. So the numbers lag behind at least 30 days. So someone said, why is the Secretary of State showing 1,094,000 with 668,000 verified when we're reporting numbers higher than that? And that's the reason why. They're at least 30 days behind. So what I can tell you today is, as of this afternoon, our in-house count for signatures received and reported is 1,825,000. Cheers to our volunteers.
Holy moly!
Yeah, cheers.
Holy crap.
To the volunteers, the mail rooms, everyone signing, thank you. Of that 1,825,000, our consultant has verified 1,465,300. All righty. So, and of those, 1,000,000 379,000 have been turned in to the county registrars. We have 235,000 of that 1,825,000 that is in transit to the Secretary of State that have already been verified. So I know that gets a little confusing, but just so it's clear, our in-house count as of today is 1,825,000 and our goal is 2 million. So don't panic when you see the registrar's counts reported by the Secretary of State. They will always lag at least 30 days behind because of the reporting process. But we're looking great thanks to all the volunteers. Thank you to all the permanent signing locations. Thank you to everyone having events. Thank you to the bus tour and Kevin Kiley's book signing. All of those things are adding up, and that is where we're getting our numbers. So it's a statewide volunteer effort that is absolutely fabulous. So thank you all.
So in simplistic terms, everybody, you, the volunteers, collect a lot of them. Randy and I do a lot of advertising. They mail them into Christine, opens them up, and Orrin actually delivers them. People always ask me how the system works. That's kind of it in a nutshell. And that's one reason, by the way, I don't know if that's good news or bad news, not seeing Orrin's face tonight. Sorry, buddy, got to bust your chops a little bit. But to let you know, Orrin is also one of the hardest working men, as James Brown used to say, in the recall business, because he's actually out there doing a lot of the work delivering the petitions.
By the way, Mike, did you see just a couple minutes ago breaking in the New York Times? Huge story about the recall.
Yes.
Story just broke about 25 minutes ago. And we had, this is just such a tribute to each and every one of our volunteers. It's an incredible story. And I gotta tell you, they captured a photo image of Orrin Heatley that will send chill bumps up and down your spine. Absolutely amazing. Something out of something out of the New York Times, for goodness sakes. It's incredible, great artwork and great story. And it was all a tribute to all of us and all of you guys that have put so much time and effort into this.
This is amazing, man. And a shout out to you too, my friend, for helping us this last few months put all this media together. A lot of the reason Christine's arms are tired, if you will, opening that mail is because a lot of the people that we can't get to as volunteers at signing locations, etc., are now being made aware of the recall. And so there's a lot of power being put in there. Robin, there's something else. Do you want to address the timelines here, you and Susan, a little bit?
Sure. We sent out a timeline today to all our authorized personnel. And what we've asked is we're doing a recall roundup. So we need those permanent signing locations to gather as many signatures as they can between now and the 10th and get those to the person that they've been working with in their county, because it'll be important for those people on March 10th to mail the out-of-county petitions to the designated person in whichever of the 58 counties they belong. If someone in LA County has a petition for Butte County, for example, they can't turn it in. They need to get that mailed up to me up north for me to turn in, and vice versa. So it's important that those of you collecting petitions throughout the state work with the person that you connect with to turn in all your petitions by March 10th that are specifically out of county so they can get them mailed to the appropriate person. And then we're calling for a recall roundup only a couple days later of March 12th for everything that you have in your possession. Get it into your county person specific so they can start getting those petitions organized, sorted, counted, go through and do one final check to make sure there aren't out of county signatures on a specific county sheet, and they will then get those ready to turn in. We have 5 turn-in dates scheduled for the authorized people throughout all 58 counties. That's March 5th, March 12th, March 15th, and our final day is March 17th. So as we narrow down into these final days, it's important, if you have petitions you've been collecting, get them to the appropriate person. We have gone into the website. I'm in the process of updating every county link with one contact person, so there'll be no confusion if someone in the public gets a few signatures. Rather than mailing to Sacramento after March 10th, we need you to mail it directly to your county contact person. So you still have time to mail it to Sacramento, but after March 10th, it will be direct delivery to your designated county representative who is authorized to turn petitions in to the county registrar. And we'll repeat this. I know Mike's gonna remind everyone, and Randy, on the Friday radio show as well. And we will probably post, maybe we can post a link to our timeline on the website. That might be something to help, because it's a lot of information coming to a lot of you all at once. But
yeah, one thing that I'm going to do, Mike and Susan, just everybody else let you know, is I take these numbers that we have right now. I'm going to draft a update press release and make sure that we get it sent out sometime during the middle of the night to all of our 350 news agencies that are actively covering the campaign now. So Mike, I just want to give you a heads up on that, I will prepare those numbers with the 1,825,000. Is Oren still on the phone? So we'll go ahead and prepare that number with the totals that Robin had gone out and given out. Is that okay, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get that out to the press here. I want to stress something here as we move through all this, why these dates are important. These dates are important not just because they're cutoff dates coming, because we have logistics. These dates at the end of all your work are important because we're friggin' making it. If we weren't making it, these damn dates wouldn't be important. So I want everybody to absorb that for a second. If we had 700,000 signatures, all this type of vote really wouldn't matter. So I want everybody to grasp there. We throw a lot of figures. We hear how many's been verified, this, that, and the other. It matters because we, people, are historically getting this recall on the ballot.
Did you say you're going to get naked?
That is so true. And we have shocked everyone, I know, because Oren called me today and he put a call out for us to remind all the county authorized personnel to please turn in and submit to me copies of their receipts, because you guys have shocked the world, literally. You've shocked the country. The press can't handle, and they can't believe we're making it, and they keep asking for proof. And my comment to Oren was, well, why? We know what we're doing. We know where they are. It's not our problem they can't comprehend it. And then I had to be nice and say, okay, I'll put together press packets of the release, you know, of the receipts. But truly, when you think about it, they want proof because they can't believe it. Like Mike said, we are making it, and we're going to hit the 2 million. So we know it, you all know how hard you've been working, and kudos to all of you, because it's absolutely spectacular what's been accomplished, and we have everyone in shock because of it. So it's awesome, absolutely spectacular.
The whole world is watching. Oren, do you want to say something?
I do. Thanks for letting me chip in a little bit before we go. And this, I will end my portion because I need my phone for directions here in the fine town of Dixon. But I just want to, shout out to everybody. Everybody working on this team they have sacrificed greatly their time, their money, their heart and soul, and people like Mike, who have dedicated so much of his personal time to this recall, and he's really put, making a living as a second, kind of second priority in his life, where the recall is first. It's the recall, like a lot of us, the recall is the last thing we think about before we go to bed, and it's the first thing we're working on when we wake up in the morning. And Mike's no different. Mike is a real estate agent, and I just want to shout out to him. This is not a sponsored ad, but if you're listing a house and you'd like to help the team that has helped this so much, consider listing it with Mike, because Mike needs the help, and we'd love to help him and pay him back for some of the generosity that he's given to our team throughout this time. And the other thing is, folks, we run 2 radio shows. There's one on KABC in the morning on Saturdays, and that's with Randy, and I'll let him talk about that. And the other one is the French Laundry that Mike and I and Randy do on Friday nights at 7 o'clock on KABC. And you can listen to that show live at kabc.com. And we're trying to figure out a way where we can stream that out through our website, but we'll see when that happens. You can listen to it live. People do. We already have an international show. We have people listening in on their computer. Military members overseas have called in and talk to us about it. And we've had people in several states chiming in and listening in and calling in. So it's really a wonderful journey, but those shows aren't free. Okay. Those are listener supported shows. And we really, if you'd like us to keep this venue going and build the momentum, we still need the donations. We still need your help to fund the fight and to keep this fight alive and to keep this dream alive. And that's where I'll end it there.
Thank you, Orrin. I do want to say something that everybody's put in sacrifices, and a quick plug. I am a licensed real estate agent and pretty good at it. Haven't had a lot of time to sell real estate here the last year and a half. So if you know anybody that wants a good agent, I'm your guy. You can reach me at miknitter2020@gmail.com. I also want to say too that moving forward, we talk about donations. This is the beginning of the next phase, right? We need to keep all the momentum we have here going. I see a lot of questions tonight about what's coming next. What are we going to do? The unknown is the beauty of it. But I want everybody on the journey to take a deep breath. I say this all the time. I think Robin and Susan, you'll attest to that, right?
Yeah.
Every step of the way, enjoy the journey, right? There's always the next thing. Well, what's for lunch tomorrow? Why enjoy lunch today, right? Scoreboard is, my friends, we're getting this done. I will sell more real estate in the future. We will have other politicians be grumpy. We will have an election. But for every single one of you that have stood out there in the rain, the cold, told your neighbors about it, for every single one of you that have participated in this group miracle that we call WeCallGavin2020.com, we are going to keep it going. But tonight, God bless all of us for where we stand today at 1.8 million plus signatures with about 2.5 weeks to go. So I would ask everybody out there, as we move toward the end of this, move the static a little bit out of your head and enjoy the moment. Susan, you look like you have something to add.
I do. We are promoting some of our management team. I just wanted to let you all know that Christine Abercrombie, her business was affected by AB5. And she is a professional florist. Is that what we call you, Christine? You're muted.
Plug yourself, Christine.
I was a florist in my previous life. I worked in the trade show and conference industry for 16 years before Gavin did the AB5. I was an independent contractor. Used to fly all over the country and have a purpose. So now my purpose is seeking revenge.
Married, I would definitely contact Christine. I've seen what she can put, what she does for her florists, her flowers, for weddings and events. It's
thanks. That's nice, Susan.
No, contact Christine. And I will put on the chat screen Christine's email.
I have one little thing, Mike.
You need to contact her.
I got a letter today.
Job is what I need, a job, J-O-B, eventually.
Yeah.
But I got to get rid of Gavin first because this is my job right now. You know,
rock and roll, and you're amazing at it, Christine.
it really pisses me off that with a stroke of a pen, he could just end my 16-year career. So 1.825 pins said otherwise. Boom, do it, people. Get it done. Let's get rid of.
Randy, go ahead and give your ad on here. And I want to answer a few questions here. We'll go
real quick question. Today, we get lots of mail, as you know, every day. Today, I got a big box at my house here, and it wasn't a bomb, which is nice. But it's from a gentleman by the name of Bob and Paula Weaver. And they live in Gilroy, California. And in 2003, Bob and Paula, they're actual winemakers. They're winemakers here in California. And they created a bottle of wine and a line of wine called Recall Red. And this is from 2003 Greg Davis Recall. And they have donated it to the campaign. It's in my possession. And I don't know where Oren or Mike or Robin or any of these guys, what you guys want to do with this bottle. I don't know if we should auction it off, if we should drink it all together with little shot glasses on election night. But this is really probably one of the coolest things that I think we've gotten in the mail as a surprise. So let's figure out how we can best use this bottle of Recall Red to basically help us from this day forward. So it's kind of
they need to tell us if we can buy it, if our people can buy it. I bet everyone would buy a
bottle of it, Robin, but I can find out.
Okay.
I know one thing for sure, that if we leave it with Randy for too long, we'll never get the chance to taste it.
True. And it came in a really nifty bag. Little blue.
Nice.
Really cool.
Mike, there's a couple important questions on here, not to interrupt Randy, but people are asking when the special election will be. And Mike, you want to take that? Or
the special election is, they have 30 days or approximately until April 29th to verify our signatures. The special election date is supposed to be within 80 to 90 days. However, there will be, this is where the fight needs to continue. There are going to be some things happening. They could delay the special election as late as November. It could be as early as late summer. This is where your recall team is going to continue to move forward to make sure there will be an election taking place. Our goal is to get it to take place as soon as possible.
we hope it's in August. And part of phase 2 is reminding everyone, even though you've signed or you've helped people sign, remember to encourage people. Not only must they vote, but they need to encourage others to vote. And the first question on the ballot will be, do you support the recall of Gavin Newsom? Yes or no? And then there'll be all the candidates who have filed to run listed to make their choice as to who might replace them. But it's critical in phase 2 to remind people, kind of get out the vote. And we really hope it will be in August and not blended into the November elections. That's what we will all push for.
Okay, it's about 7:30 right now. Friday nights at the French Laundry, we're going to announce events again. I'm up in Santa Clarita. Most of you are all over the place here. Again, there's way too many events. There's the big one this weekend in Bakersfield, and the following weekend, we wrap up the Recall Road Trip in Sacramento and San Francisco and Sacramento, in that order. I will be there. Much of your Recall team will be there. Again, everybody, we can't quit. If you get friends that could donate, great. We can't quit getting every dollar we can get. We cannot quit gathering signatures. We need to make sure we get so many that all this worry about verification that I see in the feed kind of has to go away at some point, because we're almost getting there. Again, everybody out there, a shout out to Tim Holiday on this tonight for all he does of getting the brochure, getting the collateral, as we put it, ready to go out there. I do know it appears we had a problem tonight with the link. Again, if you ever have a problem, go back to our standard link. We will get that fixed for next week. Anybody who wants to watch the replay, it will be posted on various Facebook groups. Again, recallgavin2020.com. A word of please for Cordy's stepdad tonight. That was in the news at the beginning of the show. We all have lives. We all have a governor to recall, but we all are blessed for the journey we were on. We are on now. Thank you. God bless and good night.
All right.
Right.
Get that mail in. Bye.
Thank you all.